All right, now to those aforementioned bigwigs from the Big Three, calling on Congress right now to approve a $25 billion rescue. Not just Democrats pushing for this auto bailout. This Michigan Republican is too, and Congressman Joe Knollenberg says it's not only because he's from Michigan. Congressman, why do we need this?
You need it because of the fact that there's more to it than what it looks like. You've got three companies that have between, say, 3 and 5 million people that work for them directly. Here's the problem.
And wait, you're saying that those 3 to 5 million would be out of work if we didn't give them this money?
Let me tell you what I will say. If one of those companies goes broke, goes into bankruptcy, that's going to affect the entire country. And here's why: because there's hundreds, in fact thousands of small companies that make up the Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 sides of companies that provide the parts. In fact, even Toyota would be hampered by this because of the fact that the parts that they get in Texas come from Michigan. And they have to deal with what the reality is. Here's the other thing. There's something like 700 dealerships that will close down between now and the end of the year if something doesn't happen pretty quick.
So this is a fear of God thing. We do have bankruptcy, you know, Congressman. And when you put the fear of God into people and say, do this or else, why should we give money to an industry that's going through that cash faster than me bakery products on a Ponderosa buffet line? It is obscene, and you know it, Congressman. You know we are attaching very few stringent conditions to this. So how do we know they're going to come back to us in a few months and say, we need more money?
Neil, bankruptcy is not the issue here at all. You know, the GM has seven...
Why is it not the issue?
Well, let me tell you why it's not. Because if you went into bankruptcy, look at Delphi. Delphi's been in bankruptcy for something like 2.5 years. Nothing has happened. If an auto company goes into bankruptcy, who's going to buy a car? Who is going to buy a car from that particular company? They won't. It's different.
So what?
When you buy a ticket on an aircraft,
so what? Why would you demean the industry and the workers, saying we're just going to prop you up because we think you're important to our economy? You demean those workers and their possibility of going elsewhere when you prop them up and prop up the same business practices that have led to the bloated costs that vastly exceed their Japanese and Korean rivals.
Neil, let me just tell you something. If this whole thing happens, if the Big Three go under and all these suppliers around the country go down with it, you know where those jobs will go? They'll go across the ocean. That's where they're going to go.
So
we don't need that to happen.
You, Congressman, let me ask you, when the housing industry CEOs come to you and say, you know, we go under, and all the ancillary businesses, the dishwasher manufacturers, the washer and dryer manufacturers, the Lowe's and the Home Depots that vastly depend on our being alive and vibrant, if we go under, there's hell to pay. And then the textile manufacturer comes to you and says, if we go down, there's hell to pay. And on and on and on we go. Where do you draw the line with our money?
It is not your money. In fact, if anybody could have predicted, wait a minute, hold it. You said you wanted me on this show. Let me have a little chance to talk. If for example, if these 700 dealerships go under, and by the way, dealers can't sell cars. You know why? Because the credit crunch. Because there's no credit to get. If we could just remove that problem, and this is what we're trying to do, then we'd be in a position to sell cars. Right now, you can't even move a car. That's why those dealerships are going under.
Congressman, there's nothing in the 25 or 50 billion that will open up credit for folks to buy cars that, in good times and bad, they have not wanted to get from these guys.
That's not the purpose of the 25 billion. The purpose of the 25 billion is to give them some money for the time being to make sure that they stay alive, they stay in place. Because if they do go under, as I pointed out to you,
you're propping them up.
Propping them up. You know, if anybody needs a prop up, we did everything that was asked of us. In fact, we met the CAFE standards. They have. I told you about the 7 cars that GM has that get over 30 miles to a gallon. Toyota can't even say that. We have something in Michigan, and it's not the only state either. The whole country is going to be affected by this.
All right.
Whether it's one company,
I'm just telling you, there's a line of people behind them who are going to make a similar argument. I hope you're ready for it. But very good having you on, sir. We'll see where this goes.